Zborn Again is the 7th episode of Season 6 of The Golden Girls. This is directed by Matthew Diamond, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. And I'll talk about the subplot with Rose very briefly, and then I'll talk about Dorothy. I didn't care for this episode, though, at all. There were a couple of lines here and there that were quite funny. Some of the dialogue was very well written, but the actual narrative could not care less. Absolutely hated it, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. But with Rose, not too bad. Rose is having problems at work with a girl called Abby, and she we have a great discussion about Rose reading some medical journals first of all, and then she explains that this problem's really getting to her, and Sophia agrees to go down to her work with her and help her and talk to Abby so that Abby isn't constantly bothering Rose. And they go down there, and Sophia talks with Abby. And we get a bit of suspense as Abby was actually trying to talk to Rose about something. As soon as Sophia has told Abby she needs to stop bothering Rose, we find out that Abby is getting promoted and now she's Rose's boss. So that makes things very awkward for Rose. And it's fine. It's a fine part of the narrative. It works as padding. The main narrative, I not only did not care about, but actively hated. Stan is sending candy to Dorothy, then he sends her meat, and she reveals she wants him just as a friend, but then he buys a very nostalgic car. And I'm going through this very quickly. I don't have a lot of thoughts. They go in the car. They get caught by an officer with their clothes off in the back of a car, in the back of this particular car. And then Dorothy doesn't want to tell Sophia, and then she goes out with Stan again. End of story. The ending of this episode was terrible. Even if I liked the narrative, and I'll talk about why I don't in a moment, but even if I liked it, the ending was horrendous. It was just Dorothy and Stan getting caught by an officer again. An absolutely terrible ending. The reason I hate this, and I've mentioned this many, many times before because it constantly comes up, I am so sick of the Stan and Dorothy story. It seems like Dorothy is only allowed stories that revolve around Stan, and occasionally around her career as a teacher, but mostly, if Dorothy's having a story, more times than not, it's about her wondering if she should be with Stan, and I'm so bored of it. Stan is so boring as a character. Dorothy is boring when all she talks about is Stan, and together they are tremendously dull. Maybe back in the beginning, I wasn't that concerned about it. Maybe it was an interesting topic to discuss. If you still have feelings about your ex, maybe it's realistic. But it's again and again and again, and I'm bored of it, and I just hated every second of this that focused on Stan. Apart from the only bit I liked is when Dorothy was on the phone to Stan, but she had to try and pretend she wasn't. That bit genuinely made me laugh because Dorothy was brilliant, but everything else here, utterly boring. As I said, there were some good one-liners here and there and some good dialogue, but nothing about Stan was interesting, and I don't have anything else to say. It's tremendously boring. It's the same thing again and again and again and again, and I'm sick of it. I don't like Stan. I don't think that Dorothy can only have stories about Stan. Obviously, there are exceptions, but generally speaking, if Dorothy's in focus, chances are Stan's somewhere in the background. And I'm bored. I'm fed up of it. I hope it doesn't ever happen again. And also, this was just a tremendously dull ending that also kind of makes me think that it's not over. So we'll see what happens there, but I couldn't care less. It's not a good episode. Zborn Again was very dull. I would definitely skip this one if I'm binge watching season 6. Honestly, I could not care less.